Can I be honest with you guys? I'm really struggling about how to talk about the Apple Watch Series 8 because for me, it's useless. Now, let me before the comments go crazy, let me explain my ideology. Let's establish some context. The new feature this year is a temperature sensor. Actually, two of them on the Apple Watch Series 8. One in the display, one under the body to help eliminate environmental bias. Now, when I heard this, my first thought is, yes, it's temperature sensing. Where is my temperature app to tell me my temperature? But that isn't real. That doesn't exist. And Apple hasn't said anything about plans to do that. Right now, the temperature sensor is used for two things. Number one, it's used to give women a better look into their health, into retrospective ovulation, where they can look back and your watch will tell you when you likely started ovulating. It even helps predictions for the future. But maybe most important is the fact that if you have a cycle deviation, if your period doesn't happen when it normally does, that could potentially mean a more threatening condition in your life that often gets overlooked. And your watch could tell you now, hey, you missed a cycle, or we think you did. Hey, you might want to talk to your doctor or get that checked out. It's brilliant. And I think Apple's implementation here with this privacy-centric approach, especially with the context of today in the United States, I think a lot of women are worried about that data and what happens to it. And Apple has said that it's locked down. So that's the first part of the temperature sensor. It's incredible. It's really, really cool. The second part, and this works for everybody, is it establishes a baseline of your temperature after you use it in sleep tracking for a while. And this only happens at night. It's only taking your temperature while you're laying and sleeping. And after a while, it can tell you if you deviate from your baseline. The thing is, I don't know what the that means. I don't know what in the world zero point 0.1 degrees Celsius hotter means. I don't know when my watch tells me, oh, you're zero point 0.3 Celsius down on Thursday. Is that because you maybe had a drink or two, pal? It's like, yeah, maybe. What am I going to do with this information? I don't see the point. Scratch that. Rather than trying to explain what the temperature sensor does if you don't have a period, let me just tell you what it doesn't do. It doesn't tell you your temperature. It doesn't temperature. The temperature sensor doesn't temperature. There's no app for it. You can't just like look at your wrist and see your temperature. And I don't say this like it's some easy feat. I know that's an incredibly hard task from the wrist. It's just like, it's so frustrating that we're here and we're so close. I think a big reason I feel so conflicted about the temperature sensor is because it is launched so differently than the two most recent health features on the watch, the ECG and blood oxygen monitoring. When ECG launched about a month after the Watch Series 4 in 2018, you had an app. You could take an ECG in the United States, and that feature was FDA approved. It was regulated and official. Even 2 years later in 2020 with blood oxygen monitoring, it wasn't FDA approved. It was just intended for wellness, but it turned out to be incredibly accurate. And again, on a whim, at any point during any day, you can take your blood oxygen sensor sample and it works really well. The temperature sensor is only really useful for about half the population, and even then, there's not a dedicated app that shows you the actual data. It just sort of takes that data and applies it to something else, which is cool. It's not as cool as I think it could be. This is why I've had a hard time making this video, because when I tell you I'm returning the Series A, I don't want it to come across as dude is mad that for the first year ever in technology history, the feature wasn't aimed and targeted at his demographic. Like, again, I think the women's stuff is super cool, but as a product that is available to everyone and is marketed to everyone, I bought it. And it's the exact same watch as the Series 7. Oh, what's that? We forgot to talk about crash detection. You mean the other feature that you're never going to use? Or at least I hope you never have to use it, because that would mean you were in a severe car crash, and that's why the car crash detection worked. Does this make sense? Does this video, I'm trying to approach it lighthearted, man, because the Apple Watch is a great product and I love mine, and I would never switch to another watch, number one, because I have an iPhone, number two, because let's be real here, no watch in the world gets as close to the Apple Watch. They just don't have any competition. But to me, it's the same greatness level to the T as the Series 7. So if you want to save money, just buy the Series 7. And I can't remember the last time I've said that about an Apple product, where for me, it was identical to the year before, even though it was called something new. Again, just for me, my experience. I guess my fundamental criticism of the watch this year, even with the crash detection, is it feels like we're just beta testing things. The watch might go off if you get into an accident, and you could see a little bit of temperature data, but that's about it. that's about it. Unless, of course, you're somebody who has a period, in which this could be really interesting. And if you're a diehard Apple user like me, this is a major step forward from what I've seen. Really, the only thing I have to add here about the women's health features is that there are products on the market that give you full prediction and are FDA approved. They can tell you if you need contraception or if you're ovulating or fertile at a certain time, like precisely. The Apple Watch doesn't do that. They say the predictions are better with the temperature sensor, but it's not, it's technically for wellness. Like Apple says on their website, don't use it for birth control, when there's something on the market that works with the Oura Ring that is exactly for that, and it seems to be really reliable. The good news is I have something to look forward to for the Apple Watch this year, which is the Apple Watch Ultra. This thing is incredible. It is massive. It's got the siren. It's got the button. It is the Explorer edition we've been waiting on for so long. Fundamentally, the two watches are the same core product, right? They help you track fitness and close your rings and respond to text messages and see notifications. That is what the Apple Watch has been. That is what it continues to be. That is what makes it so great. It's just a weird year. It's a great year on both sides of the perspective with the Ultra and the Series 8. It's just, you got to know what you're getting into. Just don't buy the Apple Watch Series 8 if you're like me and expect it to be something. Don't expect it to be the Series 8. For women, it's the Series 8. For men, it's the Series 7. It's the Series 7. Let's leave it at that. Okay. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope this helped you out. Let me know all your thoughts down below. Love you so much. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.